All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Herman, the Director of Government Affairs and Project Management for BioTrack. We are the seed to sale provider for the state of New Mexico. With me today, I have Angela Nelson, who is our lead trainer for our commercial software, and Marcos Amaro, who is our account manager for the state of New Mexico, and also, one of our most senior members of the team. Oh, we've already got questions. All right, good. So the steps we're going to take for today, we're going to go over the agenda very quickly. We're going to go just through the quick walkthrough of dispensation, which, if anyone's used it, I'm sure you've all used it. It's a quick process. We're going to talk about how to accept a manifest. We're also going to discuss how to then return any inventory, how to set up inventory rooms, again, dispensation and sales and returns. So with that, I will hand it over to Angela and let her take over.
I'm going to steal the screen from you.
Fine.
Okay. So where we are at the homepage for your New Mexico CCD. It is at mcp-tracking.nmhealth.org. You'll see that up there in the top left. Now, when you, as a retailer, you're going to see two separate buttons. And there are going to be times where you need to select producer and processor login. We're going to start with just the password reset. So if you try to log in through the dispensaries, which we will be logging into this, and you can't because your password has expired, and it will, you'll need to use the producer and processor function right here. From there, you would want to select your forgot your password, where you'll enter in your email and your UBI and select reset now. That will send you an email where you can then reset your password and follow the prompts. If for some reason you don't get that reset password link, you'll want to go to this website right here, the nmhelp@biotrackthc.com, and you can also try calling the support line as well. In regards to this producer and processor login, for retail locations, how you accept in your inbound transfers is going to actually be done through this producer and processor login. So you'll enter in your email, your password, and your UBI. I'll let this do its thing. There we go. I want to make sure we're in the right location. So I'm actually going to switch it over into the retail and select OK. So we can see the landing page here. This is the inventory. And as far as users go, you can create additional users to be able to log into this interface from the administration users and add new user right here. And create them an email password and then confirm the password and even make them an admin if needed. That way they could log into the state interface and view whatever under their own credentials. You can also modify users right here. So if they forgot their password or if they can't get it reset and you can log in, you can reset their password as well. If this person is no longer a part of the business, you can unselect active and OK, and they would no longer be able to log in. You can create inventory rooms from the right-hand side of the shortcuts. You'll see the shortcut button that says rooms. You can select this. What you'll initially see as far as your rooms go that are default is bulk inventory and quarantine. You cannot delete or rename the bulk inventory room, but you can definitely create additional rooms. Very common I see is sales floor. Once you select save, you'll now see it from the dropdown. And if you're on the main platform, you'll also see it right here where it says sales floor. If you select it, that would allow you to go into that room. You can also move inventory by selecting it and then selecting move. And then it would allow you to pick and choose what you want to move into that other room. So again, rooms is over here on that shortcut. Now to accept in your inventory, if somebody were to send you a transfer, you have to do it from the producer and processor login. And you'll go to transfer inventory on the top right-hand side of the shortcuts. And I'm expecting an inbound shipment. When you do that, you'll be able to see different products or different manifests that have been sent to you. You'll want to select it and hit OK. From there in this screen, you'll see all of the products that was sent to you. And this first one, we see that it is a blueberry kush. We have the product name in there. We have the description, and we see that we have 10 of them and they have passed QA. You never want to accept anything that says pending or failed or just simply doesn't have any QA on it. Just simply won't allow you to sell it. With the quantity received, if they sent you 10 and your count is not 10, you want to put in the correct count there. So if you actually got 8, put in 8. If you are rejecting it, put in 0. If this is spot on, put in the exact amount that you are accepting in for full, and then select Save Item. By selecting Save Item, it checks it and it'll move it down to the next line item on the transfer, where you can then do the same thing, look at the quantity received, make sure that it matches, put in the correct amount, Save Item, so they're both checked. And now you can simply hit OK, and that would then add these products into your system. It'll show you here full acceptance. If we had rejected it or put in a different number, it would also show you that as well. Once that comes in, you'll be able to see your items here. The ones that we just took in will be in the system. If you double click on it, this is the inventory details for that item itself. We'll close out of here. Now that's accepting in a transfer. We'll show you how to return a transfer. So if any of the products that you received, if something is wrong with it or if they're going to take it back in, what you will need to make sure is that you have, if you are going to be driving it, that you have a vehicle on file and an employee. More often than not, I find that any returns done from a retail location back to like a manufacturer or even a cultivator, they're going to come pick it up. So in your transportation, transport manifest shortcut on the right-hand side, you will have 3 different options. Regular means that you'd be driving, pickup means that they're going to come get it, and third-party transport manifest as a middle person. I'm going to go with pickup in the assumption that they're going to come pick up that product back from you. The very top, you would then select your arrival, so who's going to take it back from you. I'm just going to choose a random one. The date and time, so this would be the departure time. When are they going to be leaving your facility? So that's what we want to make sure. So think of it like as soon as they get there, when they have it in hand, what time approximately are they going to be leaving your facility back to theirs? You'll also want to enter in the turn-by-turn directions here. No, you can't copy and paste. You do have to type it out. Then down here, you can then select the products that you want to return. So you just pick and choose. Once you're done, at the very bottom of the screen, you'll see this employee and vehicle section. If there's nothing on file with that dropdown, you'll want to add the vendor employee shown here. So then you would say their name. So we'll just say it's me, their employee ID, and their birthday. Oops. That now becomes a driver. So their employee is now an employee that will be on the manifest, and the same thing with the vehicle. You want to make sure this information is correct. Don't follow my lead here. We want to make sure that on the manifest for them that it is all accurate information. But now that I have a employee and a vehicle, you can then select to generate. And that will pull up your transportation manifest. And this would be their transportation manifest. So this is what they would then get from you to travel down the road. Now, once the manifest has been created, you're not done yet. You'll actually find the manifest on the manifest tab, and it'll be quarantined. You'll actually find the product in the quarantine room. From the manifest tab, you can view the manifest again if you need to print it. You can modify the manifest, but you can only modify the driver. Or you can void the manifest. So if you forgot something, maybe or the quantities are wrong or something like that, or you changed your mind, you can void a quarantine manifest. If everything is good, then you can select transfer inventory, and I'd like to send an outbound shipment. Select the item or the manifest, hit OK. And then it will force a sale price on there. Now, if this is a return, you can't put 0 in there, but you can put a penny. Once you hit OK and proceed, it will then change that status from quarantine to shipped, and you'll now be able to find that transfer on the transfers tab. So you'll see it right there. Now, if this was done and you still made a mistake on something that happened, you do have the opportunity to void the transfer. You cannot void a manifest if it's shipped, but you can, as long as the vendor hasn't accepted this transfer, you can quickly void the transfer to void the manifest. So now it's not there anymore. Then if you go over to the manifest section, refresh it, it'll go into quarantined, and then you can void it again. That's how you would create a return shipment. There we go. Go back to the current there. Now, once you have your items into the system, after you've accepted them in, to sell your products, we're actually going to log out. And we're going to go down to dispensaries and third-party transporter login here. You'll be brought to this page, and at the very top, you'll select licensee login. It is the same credentials that you'll use on the producer and processor login. Enter in your UBI and sign in. You can also create rooms like us over here on the left-hand side. You can view the existing rooms, room name. You can also create additional vehicles and employees down there. Up at the very top, you can select current. Oh, am I logged into the wrong location? So let me switch location to my retail. There we go. If you select current, that'll show you the items that you have in your inventory. And with the drop down, you'll be able to see the additional barcodes. If you select it and hit details, that will take you to your inventory details of the item. And to sell the product, you'll go to dispensing up at the very top. Now in here, we have this toggle. You'll see medical or recreational. The biggest difference here that you'll see is that the recreational has the excise tax associated with it, but both are basically the same. You also have your card lookup. So you could plug in a medical patient there. Jason or Marcos, do we have a test medical patient by any chance?
No,
I
because
didn't
we,
even think about it.
no, we don't, because we, that's PI, and we are very, very protective of that.
All right. So you would plug in the card number in here. And after that, you'd hit OK. And what that will do is it's going to shoot up to the patient portal, let you know that the card is active and when it expires and how much that you can dispense to them. From there, I won't be able to complete the sale because I don't have a card on file, but it'll work the same. From there, you can then select the inventory type that you want to sell to them. So you would then just select the product. I know it's not verified, so I'm just going to switch it over to retail or to rec. So once you select the item, it'll then allow you to choose which barcode. Now in here, it's going to have you enter in the quantity, how many you're going to be selling. So let's say 1. The unit price pre-tax. So if this item is $30, you'll enter in 30. You'll also want to know what your excise tax is. Now this is manual, so that's not going to calculate it for you. You're going to have to calculate it on your own and enter it in here. I don't know, so I'm going to make up numbers in this section and call it a day. From there, we hit OK. And that would then get added to the cart up there. And you can keep going. So if we also have flower lots, same thing, the quantity, the unit price. Oh man, I don't know. We'll just say 70. Now the other big difference is that medical isn't going to have this excise tax. It's not going to have the tax values, but it is the same screen. You will still have to enter in the quantity and the unit price of the product itself. Once that gets added to the cart, you have a couple different shortcuts. You can remove one item by selecting it and hitting the first button. You can erase the entire ticket. The pencil is an editor. So if you selected this and hit the pencil, it'll take you back to the screen where maybe you want to enter in a higher quantity or if they changed their mind on how much they wanted. And the last button is the tender button. It'll ask you if you want to confirm the sale. You can say yes. It will process, and then the sale has been completed. The medical and rec is basically the same. Again, the biggest difference is the card and the taxes. Jason, did you want me to go over the pre-orders and deliveries?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Because
I'm
that
gonna keep it
confuses
on.
me too.
I'm going to keep it on the recreational since the card. Let's just go back from this one. I don't know what this is, but we'll work with
Angela,
it.
I sent you a
Oh, you
patient.
did. Oh,
It's a
I
test
see it now.
patient.
Test pay. Okay, well, that's fine. Thank you.
No problem.
I'll go back
I
to
sent
it
it
here in a
earlier. I
second.
was hoping you would see it, but
So we're gonna get something in the cart, the ticket here. Now, if you select pre-order, it's going to give you 2 options for pickup or delivery. I'm going to start with pickup. So if you select pickup, then you'd want to enter in the name of the person. Oop, I put my first and last name in the same box. And the request time. Today is the 14th. I'm just going to change it to 3. And is in a silver car. You can add notes at the bottom, maybe what they're driving or any additional information that you need to gather from them for the pickup. Then you can hit save and confirm. It basically gets tucked aside. So then you can go over to the pre-orders tab over here. And once you select it, you can select pickups. From there, you'll be able to see the order that is pending once it's done loading here. There it is. You can use the drop down. You can see the item. You can edit the details. You can void it, or you can complete it at the top. There's also an editor down here and a void again down here. So if they change their mind or they just didn't show up, you can always void the pickup order. If they pick it up, then you can hit complete, which will then complete the sale. The sale has now been tendered. That works both ways for both medical and recreational. There we go. And now that it's been completed, the only thing you can really do with it is void it. So if you did need to void the ticket, you can void it and that would act like it never happened. Let me see if that card number that Marcos gave me will work so we can show the card lookup. No, Marcos, it didn't work. That's fine. We'll get that delivery now. So I'm going to add another item back in, just the same as we did before. And then I'm going to hit OK. The item again gets added to the ticket. You select pre-order, but this time I'm going to select delivery. In here, we do need to have an address. So first and last name and address. Now, I don't know a New Mexico address, so I'm just going to quickly Google, I don't know, Mexico. Actually, we'll do it this way. I want to see if it'll do like an actual address in there with the directions. So we'll do 12720. Albuquerque is so hard to spell. And then just make sure you have the correct request time. We'll set it again for an hour in advance. And any notes. So like if they have a gate number or something like that, you can put in any notes for that delivery and then select save. Hit yes to confirm the delivery. The delivery will get processed. And the same thing before, it gets kind of moved out of there and you'll be able to see it on the pre-orders tab under the deliveries. In here, we'll be able to see the ticket. A couple other buttons on the far. We can update the delivery details. So that goes back to this order details entry screen. You can create the manifest or you can void the ticket from happening. So in this one, I'm going to create the manifest where you'll have regular or third party. So I'm going to choose regular. In this, it tells us where it's leaving from and the destination would need to match the customer's name from the dropdown. Again, you'll want to make sure that your departure time and arrival time match and are accurate. It didn't pull the directions, but you can put in the turn-by-turn directions here. And then down at the bottom, you'll want to make sure that you have your employees on file that are going to be driving and which vehicle. From there, you can select Create Manifest and confirm. Then from there, you'll be able to see it on the Manifest tab. Now over on the right-hand side, we have the actions. So we have Start Manifest, Manifest Details. We can also print the manifest. I'll show you what that manifest looks like. Here it is here. It has your information, the customer's information, the driver, and the product that is going to them that you're delivering. I'm going to select Start Manifest and confirm. Now that button changes. So we can undo the Start Manifest. We still have the manifest details or the print manifest. So here's that manifest details now. And that again is that middle, looks like a little battery. So manifest details will take you here. Now this you can update, you can put in the phone number, date of birth, what the total was, the delivery notes. You can also change the actual order time if that time didn't match, like if there was traffic or if it changed for some reason. You can void the manifest from the screen. You can also reschedule the delivery, or you can complete the delivery. So if we complete the delivery and say yes, that will then be completed. We can actually close out of here, refresh the screen, and then the progress will then show 100%. So that way the sale went through. So we created the pickup delivery, which is less steps, and then the delivery just went all the way through. So it shows that we added it to the cart, we delivered it to the customer, tendered it out, and we're good to go. And that is everything on the agenda. Anything else we want to cover or go over? You can also get right to the chat as well.
Unlike the other two sessions, there's not a lot going on in the chat. I see a lot of the same people though that have kind of been here with us all day. But again, like this is a very straightforward module to use, and I don't know how many people really are using it. Oh, thank you, Ryan. How would you adjust for a return?
Adjust the quantities or sublot the quantities?
I would say more like, how would you process a return?
Oh, like a customer return, not like a return manifest.
Right, I think.
Yeah. Oh yes, customer return. Thank you. Where is the... I haven't done a return up here in a really long time. Marcos, do you have to sign out? Sales, tickets. There we go. Okay. So on the left-hand side, sales and then tickets, and you'll be able to see the ticket like this. And on the right-hand side, you'll see void ticket, which is that first one. And there's also refund ticket. So if you hit void ticket and say yes, it'll act like it just didn't happen, right? It's gone. Everything goes back to place. Now, if you refund the ticket, that would allow you to give like an exchange, like the money back, stuff like
that. And for people that were on the previous session, we were talking about the 2.0 version of the traceability system. This is what it looks like. It's just, now we've got full functionality. All the license types can use this in some other states.
Yeah.
How do we quickly search for a product in our active inventory? You would go to inventory current, and then make sure you're in the right room.
Yep. And then you can see the product here, either by the product name or the product type, depending. There's not a like search functionality on this screen.
I think that they actually added it for Connecticut because it became,
because there's not one here. Virginia did ask, can you explain the 30-day windows for cultivators? So it's not for retailers.
Yep, the 30-day window allows, the seed to sale system for the most part is a closed system. Everything has to be accounted for. That 30-day window allows cultivators to bring in new genetics from outside of the system. It allows them to bring in something without a source. I think many of us use a POS that sits on top of BioTrack and occasionally have to go into BioTrack to make adjustments, and that's when it gets confusing. This is very helpful. I'm glad it was helpful. We hear, I'll be honest here, we only hear complaints. So like hearing some positive feedback is very nice. Yeah. Is this the commercial version? No, this is the free seed to sale system provided by the state. Converting bulk flour to pre-rolls, that is covered under the processing. We'll be sending out the video for that. But Ryan, for the most part, that's just converting flour lot to usable marijuana.
Ryan did ask, how would you make an adjustment after an audit? It wouldn't be done from this one, so you would need to log out of the retail login. I'm just going to go back to here. And you would want to select the producer and processor login portion, which will then take you to the main platform. And from there will be an adjust button at the very bottom of the screen. Once it logs in, I can show you here. So you would, it is the producer and processor login. You can use that button to log in there to check the interface. I'm not at the right location. So like if some of this flour, for as an example, if you did an audit and you needed to adjust it, there's this adjust button at the very bottom of the screen that you can select. You would enter in the new weight, whether it was more or less. So if you actually found that you had more, it's going to then adjust that in, and then you would select your adjustment type. If you did an inventory audit, select inventory audit, and then put in good notes as to why, you found it through an audit, at whatever the reason is, and then hit OK to make that adjustment.
All right, can you go over the sales reports from the dispensary side?
Was there reports on the 2.0 side? I don't remember.
There should be.
We're going to find out.
I know the reporting is fairly limited.
No. So we're going to actually log back out again.
Okay.
So producer and processor login. Go back in there, hit login. And while this is loading, Drew, is there a way to combine lot numbers, assuming the numbers are from the same batch? No, so there's no combine button. The only quote combine is assuming that they're from the same batch. They were just sent separately. If that's the case, you would have to adjust one up and one down to quote combine them. Not recommended for like different lots that have different QA or different strains, stuff like that. It would be in the case where they were assuming they came from the same batch. Yeah, I guess Marcos already did that one. So let's go to the reports. Reports will be up at the top. In the favorite reports, you'll have sales. I don't think there's tax obligation reports, sales. Let me switch to the other location. See if that changes things. Reports. Nope. Sales by product type. You would choose the year and then hit view report, and then it would show you, but I don't see any like sales tickets reports though.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe sales right there.
Nope. Sales tickets report on the inventory side.
It's not there.
Well, that's something we need to get addressed.
Yeah, I'm not sure. For retail, do you have to run audits directly through the NM traceability system, or will running audits through a third-party POS system like Dutchie as an example be sufficient? That should be sufficient. But any time you can always log in just to, double check that the quantities match. But assuming through the API number, API call, it should instantly hit your state traceability and adjust accordingly.
We are getting a server reset message. Would we need to deal with our IT team, or is a way to do it from the retail side? Drew, are you a commercial client? Where are you getting a server reset message?
Oh, commercial.
Okay. Do you know if do you host your own, or is it do we host it for you?
Sometimes the server just needs to be rebooted.
Yeah.
So I would just do that like when you're not in the middle of the day, like before the day or like at the end of the day. Reset your like just reboot your server, and that should be good. If you do it in the middle of the day, you will have to wait for your server to come back up to make any sales. We don't want that. We don't want you to go down.
David, that is, wow, that's an old site. I'm going to actually share, let me share my screen and show everyone where, continue. There we go. This is our, the BioTrack website. All of our training resources are here under the Knowledge Center. BioTrack traceability. If you're a commercial client, you can go to there. But you can search for pretty much anything you need here. Just do a quick search for sales. Navigating the point of sale, that's for commercial. That's what the C stands for. Setting up sales for delivery and pickup for traceability. And even if you want like API documentation because you have trouble sleeping. So this is our, our knowledge center. We will be adding, we'll be hosting these videos here. We'll be sending out links, but we've tried to make it kind of as easy to use as possible. So, if you're just a dispensary point of sale, you can click on that and it will then isolate the actual topics for you. All right. How does BioTrack Pay work? That's a great question.
BioTrack Pay is connected to the commercial platform. We
Yep.
have specific people to assist you with that. So if you reach out to tech support, shoot a ticket in or submit a ticket from the BioTrack website, then you should be able to do that. They can go over more information with you on the BioTrack Pay. The screen is going crazy.
Ryan, I am not skipping your questions. I'm sorry. So there were not any reports built into that module. So we actually are going to go back to our team and say, we need you guys to build some of these reports. Like, this is basic stuff. I'm actually a bit concerned because this system has now been in use for over a year and no one's, how's no one mentioned this yet? Let's see what happens. Reporting. All right, so we're gonna get that addressed for you. I'm going to stop sharing. All right, let's see, the Q&A. Empty.
Looks like one more in chat.
Andres, I think you're right. Most people do use a third-party system. The state provided interface that we've gone over here today. It's very basic. It doesn't have a lot of the advanced business functionality that most systems have. This is kind of this allows every licensee to remain compliant with state regulations. That's all it was really designed to do. You can definitely use it to run your entire business, but it's a whole lot of extra clicks. All right. Make sure we didn't miss any. Ryan, we're going to get you some reporting stuff. All right. Do we have any more questions or anything? We are booked for a while. Banking requires monthly reports from RPOS and BioTrack. Understand their offer for compliance. Again, this is compliance with the state of New Mexico's regulations. But I also understand, you guys need some kind of reporting, especially if, the state comes to you and says, oh, you guys, you're not doing something right. You need to be able to run these basic reports. Yep, video will be, takes about 24 hours to process is what the Zoom tells me. And then as soon as that's all processed, we will put it together along with some documentation of kind of some popular questions that have come up, and we will share that out. We also hope this was, helpful for you guys. We plan on offering these probably another 3 sessions next month and the month after. So if you guys do have any questions or anything, please feel free to let us know, and we'll kind of just keep a running tally of them and cover them for our next session. And I will say this, the first session was a little rough. There were some haters, no big deal. There always are. It's gotten better and better with each session. And we're just here. We want you guys to be as successful as you can be, because it's better for us that way. So I appreciate all you guys. Oh, you guys are sweet.
I know, they're being so nice. This is the nicest group.
Yeah. Guys, remember, we're in like support mainly. We're not used to this. You're freaking me out a little. All right. If there are no more questions, then we can end this session. And again, once the recording gets processed, we will send it out. And let us know if you guys have questions, and maybe we'll see you next month when we do this again. So thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.